Imagine meeting a child and predicting that one day she would rule an empire, not merely influence a king, not become a queen, but become the ruler of the most powerful nation in East Asia. In the 7th century, such a prediction would have sounded impossible, yet according to one of China's most famous legends, that is exactly what happened. This is the story of Yuan Tiangang, the legendary fortune teller who foresaw the rise of China's only female emperor. More than 1,300 years ago, during the flourishing years of the Tang dynasty, there lived a man whose reputation spread throughout the empire. His name was Yuan Tiangang. Some called him a master of physiognomy, the ancient art of reading destiny from a person's face. Others believed he possessed extraordinary insight into the future. Government officials sought his advice. Wealthy nobles invited him into their homes. His words were respected, feared, and remembered. Whether he was a genuine prophet or simply a keen observer of human nature remains a mystery, but one story would immortalize his name forever. One day, Yuan Tiangang was invited to visit the household of Wu Zetian, a respected nobleman and military officer. Wu Zetian had several children. Like many fathers of his era, he wished to know their futures. Would they achieve greatness? Would they bring honor to the family? Or would they fade into obscurity? Yuan Tiangang agreed to examine the children one by one. As he observed them, he made several predictions. Some, he said, would attain official positions. Others would enjoy wealth and prestige. The family listened with great interest, yet nothing he said prepared them for what would happen next. A servant then brought forward another child. Unlike the others, this child was dressed in boy's clothing. At first glance, Yuan Tiangang assumed he was looking at a young boy. The child stood quietly, calm, confident, almost unusually composed for someone so young. Yuan Tiangang studied the child's face carefully. The room grew silent. After a long pause, he finally spoke. If this child is truly a boy, he will one day become emperor. The family was stunned. An emperor? Such praise was almost unimaginable. But then someone explained that the child was not a boy at all. The child was a girl. For a moment, Yuan Tiangang remained silent. Then he looked again and delivered a prediction that would echo through Chinese history. Though she is a girl, she may one day rule the empire. The room must have been filled with disbelief. In ancient China, women did not become emperors. The political system, social traditions, and cultural expectations of the time all made such a future seem impossible. A woman could become an empress. She might influence court politics from behind the scenes, but to sit upon the imperial throne herself, that was almost beyond imagination. Yet the young girl standing before Yuan Tiangang was no ordinary child. Her name was Wu Zhao. History would remember her as Wu Zetian. Years passed. The prophecy was forgotten by many. Wu Zhao entered the imperial palace as a concubine of Emperor Taizong. After his death, she later became associated with his successor, Emperor Gaozong. What followed was one of the most remarkable political careers in world history. Wu Zetian proved exceptionally intelligent. She understood power. She mastered court politics. She built alliances and eliminated rivals. Step by step, she rose through the ranks of the imperial court. Many underestimated her. That would prove to be a mistake. As Emperor Gaozong's health declined, Wu Zetian gradually assumed greater control over state affairs. Ministers who opposed her found themselves removed from power. Supporters were rewarded. Her influence expanded year after year. Eventually, she became the dominant political figure within the empire. Then, in the year 690, something unprecedented occurred. Wu Zetian officially proclaimed herself emperor, not empress, emperor. For the first and only time in Chinese history, a woman ruled the empire in her own name as sovereign. The impossible prediction had come true. Was Yuan Tiangang truly able to see the future? Many believers say yes. To them, the rise of Wu Zetian stands as proof of his extraordinary gift. Skeptics offer a different explanation. Some historians argue that the story may have been embellished after Wu Zetian's rise to power. Perhaps later generations created the prophecy to make her ascent seem destined by heaven. Others suggest that Yuan Tiangang simply recognized unusual intelligence and ambition in the young girl. A gifted observer can sometimes perceive possibilities invisible to others. The truth may never be known. Yet, regardless of whether the prophecy was genuine, the story survived. For more than a millennium, people have continued to tell the tale of the fortune teller who looked upon a child and glimpsed an emperor. It remains one of the most famous legends in Chinese history. A reminder that history is often shaped by those whom society least expects, and sometimes the most impossible futures become reality. The next time someone tells you that something can never happen, remember the little girl in boy's clothing, the child whom Yuan Tiangang saw, the child who became an emperor.